Hi everyone, Cliff from Advanced Diagnostics here. Today's video is going to be all about the 2011 Plus F-Series trucks because there's quite a bit of information that I wrote up in the document that you're looking at on your screen 6 years ago. Now here we are, first day of 2017, and we're going to revisit this subject for a very important reason. There is a locksmith Jan. I gotta love this guy because he had a customer complaint. He went ahead on his own, figured it out, how to solve it, and now he wants to share it with you. So I'm going to segue into his video at the end of mine. But prior to that, we do need to talk a little bit about these F-Series trucks so you have a full understanding of what transpired and why Jan ran into this issue to begin with. Now, I did tweak this document since the time of its inception. So you'll see here I included some new information that came to light on the 2015-16 model F-150 and the 2017 models. There's only been two that have been confirmed to date. I will include this document because there's quite a bit of information that you need to know about how to be successful on these vehicles and how to satisfy your customers' needs. Because one of the issues that you're going to come up against if you don't have a full understanding of this information, and by the way, this has been integrated into the digital manual, but my document's just a separate entity written a little differently. Starting system fault message. This is really important. This is going to come up on the dash whenever a non-remote head key is programmed into the vehicle and they go to start it. So it's something that will not affect the functionality of the vehicle. However, if you do not inform your customer of this information, they may freak out thinking that you did something wrong to their vehicle. The message goes away. Now you want to convey this information to the customer because they may choose to go with a non-remote head key, but inform them first and foremost before you actually go ahead and put a non-remote head key into the system, because they will see this starting system fault message on the dash every time they use that non-remote head key. And also there's going to be a fault code that's going to be triggered into the system. That's not something they're going to be concerned about though, of course. All right, so without further ado, let's go into Jan's video because he's going to explain what happens when you start to mix and match integrated keys with non-integrated keys when the system's been cleared. And remember, the system was designed to have two integrated keys stored from the factory. So when you start to mix and match, the issue that he ran into with his customer was the customer stated that every time they started the vehicle, the locks would cycle up and down. And that was not the way it behaved prior to that. And that's because of this mix and match situation with the keys. All right, so let's go to Jan's video. He reveals quite a bit of useful information. We all have to thank him. This is very helpful to the locksmith community at large. I'll see you again.
Jan over here in Ohio, Rapid Locksmith Solutions. It's about 0 degrees out, freezing out here. But we got a situation here. I've been trying to figure this out for a long time, and I think I finally figured it out on my own. But it's regarding remote head keys, non-remote head keys, and why sometimes when you program the key, and as soon as you turn the key on, the door locks cycle. You just turn it on and they cycle, and the customer will be like, well, my door locks never cycled when I turned the key on. Well, after many attempts at this car, I finally narrowed it down. Let me show you guys what it is exactly. If you turn the key on and the door lock cycles, I'll tell you what the problem is. Alright, here we go. So here it is. Actually, start out with the key off. Turn your unit on. USA, buy vehicle, where are we at here? A little too far. F-150, 250, 11 to 14. Here it is, guys. After experimenting with this, multiple keys, 80 bits, 40 bits, remotes, you go into here in the remote, and it's going to ask you to select, it's dongle A, had to look that up, but it's going to say leave the key off, so you're going to want to leave the key off. Okay. There's two integrated keys in the system now. That would be not this one. It's this one and this one. You know, they're both 80 bits. One has a newer style casing. This is a 80-bit key, but this remote head, even though it looks like it's not integrated, this is a separate remote from the chip. It needs to be programmed separately. So this key here to the right is that remote right there. It's a separate remote. These two keys right here are right up here. Now, if you don't satisfy this area, if you only have one remote up here, every time you turn the key on, it's going to cycle the door locks. It's going to continue to do that until you introduce another integrated remote head key. There's no way around it. If you do a separate remote, it will not satisfy this module that's looking for two keys. So basically, this tells you a lot. You could do 4 separate remotes and 4 integrated remotes. You can do, from what I figured out here, you can do 2 non-remote keys and it won't bug the module. You might have some error codes, but it won't bug the module. But you could do 2 non-remote keys and 2 separate remotes, and at that point it will not bug the only time that the module is like bugged or like agitated is when you do 1 remote head key and then 1 non-remote head key. At that point, the module is not satisfied. It wants 2 remote head integrated keys if you're going to take it that route, basically. And then one last thing I'll show you guys is we're going to go ahead and go back. And we're going to go to Ford, USA, vehicle 150, 11 to 14, immobilizer. Go in there, choose proper dongle. Got to look it up in the application guide. By the way, this is a 2011 F-150 regular edition XLT. Switch ignition on, so I'm going to take one of these keys, switch ignition on. Special function, keys program. 4. One's in the ignition, second integrated key, and non-remote key, and then another remote key that actually programmed them separate, and a free dummy key. 4 keys all accounted for, module satisfied. One last thing, guys, before I satisfied the module with 2 integrated keys, there was 13 fault codes in here, and now as soon as I satisfied it, when you read the fault codes, only 1. And it says unknown, but it's not key. It doesn't sound like it's key related. There was 12 key related fault codes if you don't do 2 integrated keys. So best option for this 11 and up F-150 is either do 2 remote head integrated keys or 2 non, and try to add a key when you can, and good to go. Thanks guys, Jan checking out.